Now, Sir Ron is the Carter in what was Becker Carter, now Becker Group. So not only a great engineer, but highly entrepreneurial too, because in the many years that Ron was in the firm, culminating in its chairman, it grew enormously as a consulting engineer into a truly international company. Ron today is chair of Committee for Auckland, which is a business grouping that grew out of competitive Auckland in the early 2000s, which was an attempt by business to help the Auckland region come together, not just in pure business and economic terms, but in more effective ways to sort of get its act together. So Ron, from your perspective, why would we be wanting to do this to ourselves?
Kia ora everybody. It's really a great opportunity to come and express to you the thoughts that we've had in coming to the point that we're at today. Committee for Auckland is not a business group. It has half its members are business, the other half comprise people, Salvation Army, the church organisations, the city mission, all of the education institutions and some of the city authorities themselves all contribute to our think tank. So whilst we have a number of fairly successful business people as members, I think we can justly say that our view tends to be far more across the whole sector. And we do draw wisdom from our business members, but so do we from our socially engaged members too. And they, I must say, are just as keen to see an organisation that represents their interests well, just as you all here will tonight say from your own particular point of view, you want to see something that really works. Now, Committee for Auckland started in thinking about this rather from the view of how important cities are in countries. And New Zealand is one of the most urbanised countries in the world. We have something like 80% of our people live in cities. What we're doing here today isn't just about Auckland, it is about how can cities run their organisations more effectively, more efficiently, so that we contribute to the value of society, because if we are inefficient and it costs more to operate than it could otherwise do, we are a drain on the country as a whole. So if Auckland doesn't work satisfactorily, New Zealand won't succeed, because we are over a third of the country and growing. Auckland is so influential in the economic future of New Zealand that we have a responsibility of all of us in this room to see that we do something better. When we studied how cities are working around the world, we came across quite a few interesting facts. One is that really progressive cities, and this was reported to Peter's work through Professor Hamilton of Bristol, noted that if we can engage the knowledge that exists in our society, and not from only those who are elected and who are appointed by our elected members, but wider groupings of people like you are here tonight, if you can capture that wisdom and integrate it in with the thinking of the governance of the city, you actually make better progress. So one of the things I'd like to think that we can all find ways to have our voice better heard at the political level. This is no longer a spectator sport. You and your votes must not just engage yourself once every 3 years, but belong to your groups like those that we've heard tonight. They add value to the community because they bring a different point of view. We've been looking at this for about 4 years in the Committee for Auckland, and we believe that all the work we've done studying cities around the world, and I must say we've sent at our own expense economy travel, real chicken feed sorts of expense accounts, our chief executive to have a look and talk to people who are running other cities around the world. And I think we can learn a heck of a lot from looking at what others are doing and finding our own way to interpret that knowledge. When we started out about 3 years ago as a community discussing this possibility, and then the formation of the Royal Commission's work and its product, we were largely agreed that we had to do better at the regional level. As we've gone through the process over the last couple of years and to where we are today, this thing's going to happen. I mean, everybody in the room got to recognise that. And our challenge is to make it happen in the best possible way we can. But people have become more and more fearful about what they might lose through this arrangement. So let's just distill that down. There's two key principles that we're looking at. Regional governance has to improve. Local values have to be protected. And that's the challenge of this new arrangement. 20 people elected to a council which has a decision-making power. 149 appointed to local boards that are worried now what power will they have. Now, my own experience in business is if you don't listen to your key members, the people who know what's going on, just as those local board members will know what happens in their community, and if they don't get new ones because they've got to bring forward their ideas. But if you ride roughshod over those people at a governance level and say, because I've got the power, I'm not going to respond to your valid and sensibly developed ideas, then you won't stay as a council for long, because no more you should. So I think we should be more positive about seeing that our local representatives are doing the hard work to actually find out what's best for the area they represent, and then finding the mechanisms to bring those ideas forward to the councils to make sure that they hear them. But we have to get aligned. We can't run forward with powers of veto like we had under the old arrangement. So nobody can ever do something because someone else is going to object to it, and therefore we can't actually reach decision. We must align ourselves and listen to the others. The people in the North Harbour have got to listen to the problems that people on the south side of our city face, where there's different socioeconomic consequences down there, because that's their workforce, that's their market. These people, we are all dependent upon each other. So in my view, I just wrote down 5 things that I hope a mayor would say if he stands up for a vision. First of all, let's build on our strengths. There are strengths and values in our society which we know what they are. Somebody mentioned the Waitakaris. Dare anybody touch the eco principles of Waitakere? It's too important. But I think anybody who worries about that doesn't realise how much that's valued by the rest of Auckland. Strengthen your strengths. Give value for money. Be able to show that the money you pay to support your city are producing real benefits for you and that you can value. Be aligned to teamwork. Recognise that you're not always going to get your preferred decision, but you listen with respect and trust to others who've got other views and get to a common denominator. Cooperate with government. Government spends 6 times the amount of money in Auckland that the ratepayers pay. Not many people realise that. $18 billion are collected from Aucklanders and refed back into health, justice, education, transport, various costs. We have $3 billion in rates. They have $18 billion in spend. Doesn't make sense to be arguing as a competitive way. It makes sense to be cooperating in a partnership way, because the Auckland Council will understand the social needs of Auckland better than the central government will. So we want to bring that knowledge forward to them. And lastly, a reference group. Peter Salmon's work drew forward the best, almost at a world level, I think, the best analysis of a whole community that's been done. Cities around the world, Peter can tell you for himself, but he told me that when he spoke to others in charge of other cities, they thought, gosh, I wish we could get our community to sit down and analyse its own needs and come forward with the work that the Commission produced. Now, the Commission's report is in writing. It's got a heap of information in it, and a council that doesn't use that as a knowledge document for managing its future will be really missing the bus. So I wouldn't be as worried as some are with what the government's done. I think the work is there for the new council to readjust, reprune, rephase that work, and I think the Royal Commission's report is the substance for the future of Auckland, and we'll get back to it. It might take us a year or two to do it.